In the beginning of the semester, I focused on my academics rather than who I was as a person and my personal life. I started to quickly realize that this was not the way to go through my college education. When I was introduced to the course of Bisci 3, my advisor told me that it would be a really fun and easy experience. However, this class has been one of the hardest things I've gone through. Not just the thought process, but in changing who I was and how I became who I was. I decided to focus on new things. I became more of myself and enjoyed my journey throughout becoming myself. Throughout my bisci journey, my TA focused on making sure that we question ourselves more than anything. And that was the entire question that I went throughout this journey. Who was I? Who am I? And how will I become more myself? In the first few weeks of class, we were given the objective to buy a journal. Who knew that this journal would involve so much self-reflecting as it did? But it did help me in the end. Becoming known with the scientific method was the first start to questioning everything about me. There came a moment where I decided to not use language such as us, and rather use language such as me. I needed to focus on myself rather than the entire population. When I decided to travel on my journey, I didn't know that I would be self-reflecting as much as I did. I thought I knew it all. I thought I knew myself, but exactly what I found out in the end, I didn't. Before taking Bisci 3, I thought that I would be taking a class that would involve just regular environmental science. When I started to actually learn about the class, it was entirely different. And I thank that every day, because the only thing worth learning is how to unlearn. And that comes with questioning you and being you all the time. I began to explore questions like, what is water? Do you live in or on Earth? And questions like that. Throughout this entire process, I learned to question everything. I learned to reflect not only on the question once, but twice. And in doing that, you would find more reflecting than you did the first time. This quote, "The real voyage of discovery is not in seeking new places, but in seeing with new eyes," in which we were giving the first few weeks of class, changed my entire perspective on the earth and who I was as a person. I began to believe more in myself than I've ever done before. Because of this, I questioned everything I thought I knew before and found new answers. I even decided to question connections. Soil, water, everything in the entire earth and the world is connected somehow. Once you start to question everything, you start seeing. You start seeing more about the world, the earth, and about yourself. That is a hard topic that I had struggled to come through believing. Throughout writing things such as connecting different topics throughout the book we were given, I decided to learn more about how to unlearn and how to process everything through a different perspective than before. And in doing this, I began to learn more and more. Moreover, I determined that money wasn't everything. I determined that focusing not on money was the best thing I've done in a while. I focused on myself more and because of it, I am more me. Starting to believe who you are was the first step in my bisci journey. And understanding one thing, to not rush through it all. That is one thing that I struggled through it all, and now I have finally begun to slow down.